my name is Ayala. I decided to do this week's Top 5 Wednesday video, which is the top 5 books you'll save in a fire. If you didn't know, then Top 5 Wednesday was created by Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey. I'll link her channel down below, as well as the Goodreads group page for this group. So, 5 books? Seriously, do you think that if there's a fire, I'll only save 5 books? I'm a practical person. That's why my bookshelf is next to the biggest window in the house. If a fire will start in the house, you're going to be damn sure I'm going to run over to the window, I'm going to break it, and I'm going to just start throwing books out the window for the life of me. Seriously, no book gets left behind. But if I could only save 5 books, then I picked like 5 of my top favorite books, or the ones I have most sentiment towards. So this is in no particular order. Let's start with the 5 books that I will say if there was a fire. So the first book that I'm going to talk about is a book that should come as no surprise to you, and that's Blood and Beauty by Sarah Durant. If you know me, you know that I love The Borges Family, you know that I love any book that has political intrigue in it, and this book has like tons and tons of it. These top 5 books are the top, like the top 5 books I'm gonna throw out, and then I'll start throwing out all of my other books out the window. But the reason that I'm probably gonna save this book first, like in my top 5, is because it's very hard to come across. Well, where I live, it's very hard to come across. And I remember like seeing it and I'm like, what is that? Is that a Borges book? Yeah, I'm getting that. I don't care. There was one copy. I ran to the book. I grabbed it. I was like, nobody's taking this book from me. Nuh-uh. This is my book. So this book is never going to get burned, water damage, or whatnot. It's going to stay perfect. Next is another one of my favorites, which is The Gospel of Loki by Joanne M. Harris. You know that I don't know how to say his name. Another book that's very hard to come across, at least for me. I found this in like an indie bookstore when I was traveling. I haven't seen it at all in any of the bookshops that are near where I live, so yeah, I'm going to save this first. The next book that I'm going to save is actually a book that's quite popular. Like, you could probably find it at most bookstores, but this isn't. I have just much more sentiment towards it. Like, it's very special and dear to me, and that's Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein. This is also the 30th anniversary special edition. I grew up on his poems and stories. I just remember sitting in the school library when I was in like 3rd grade, and instead of going out to play with my friends, I would sit and read his poems. They're so just like, they're my childhood. I could never let this book get burned. I definitely want to get the other books in his like in this kind of like poems collection series. 2 of my favorites is like the one with the sister for sale. Whenever my sister used to get on my nerves, I'll just start like reciting the poem to her, like, a sister for sale, a sister for sale, and she gets so mad. It was so adorable. And then she realized that she's a person and I can't really sell her. And there's this other poem that I love, the one with the girl who sets out to eat a whale, and then it takes like 80 years to eat the whale. I just love it. It's like, it's hilarious the first time you read it, but as you grow older, you realize that it's really about, you know, determination. Like, if you're determined to do something and you put all of your effort into it, then you really do succeed. Another book that I'll probably have a difficult time finding and then rebuying, but just a book that I grew so connected with that I can't see anything happening to it, and that's Shadows on the Moon. If you have seen, by Zoe Marriott, if you have seen other videos by me, you'll know that I don't have a problem lending books to my friends, especially like I have certain friends where I'm like their library. They take like all of my books, but this book is never going to leave my sight. I'm so connected to the story and the character, and it's so like emotional. I remember just like crying for like half of the book. I won't be able to see it get destroyed by anything. Definitely not fire. The last book, and this is definitely the first book I'll throw like out the window. Like, it will come before any other book for all eternity. And that's my bind-up of His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. I remember that my dad flew to America, and when he came back, he got my sister a Nintendo DS with like games and everything. And for me, he just got me this one book. I remember being so pissed off. I was like, why are you getting me a book? I want a Nintendo DS as well. No. I was, I think, in 4th grade, I don't know. And then I think it was like a year or something later, I flew to visit a couple of my family members, and I left the book there. Like, I took it with me. My mother took it, like, with us so that we'd be able to read on the way, on, like, the flight. I didn't read it at all. I left it there. I forgot about it. A year later, I returned. I took the book with me because my grandparents, I was visiting my grandparents at the time, and they wanted to, like, get rid of the book because it was taking up space. So I took it back, and it was just around the time that I moved from the country that I lived in to the country that I now live in, and I started reading this series, and wow, like this has to be my favorite childhood series. Like, this beats Harry Potter for me. It was just such a difficult time, and then, like, reading the story, I felt so connected to the characters. So those were my top 5 books that I'll save in a fire, but don't get me wrong, I love all of my books equally. They're just ones that I'm just more connected to, and I'm not gonna leave the house until each and every book is safe from the fire, because no book gets left behind. Thank you for watching this video. I'll have another video of you guys soon. I'd love to hear what are your top 5 books that you'll save if your house was on fire. So, thank you. Goodbye.